Well, it is 12:30, so we can get started. I want to thank everybody for being here. If you're here in the live session, it's great. If you're listening to the recording, thanks for doing that as well. Raphael did some research into lobotomy, and apparently it was used to treat, depression and anxiety in patients, but the difficult part was seeing what adverse side effects were because the patients were already crazy is the word he used. It bloomed from 1940s, 50s. A lot of people were lobotomized. The procedure is still done today, but there's a more sophisticated version. Interesting. One of the Kennedys was lobotomized. Yes, Rose Kennedy. It didn't work out for her very well. Interesting. It says 80% of the patients who received the treatment were women. Interesting. I didn't know that, but Raphael, thanks for giving us some more information on that background. Yeah, we were talking about it yesterday in class. So, I appreciate you filling us in, giving a little bit of a history lesson there. Anybody, if you're ever interested, in a specific topic and you want to dig a little deeper and, come back and share it with the rest of the class, you are welcome to. So thanks, Raphael. It's great to get that extra information. We're just going to kind of continue to go over what we were talking about yesterday. I have a slightly different slideshow, which we go through, and there's a couple of different parts. But it's pretty interesting seeing how the brain works, how it responds to different things. A lot of times, we train our brains to do very specific functions. We say, okay, do this function. Like, this is what I want out of my brain. This is what I want to do. And then we just kind of, we expect that to happen. Most of the time it does, because we're working within the realm of what we have trained ourselves to do, but occasionally we're kind of asked to work outside of that realm, which is where it can get a little bit different, or it can get a little bit wonky. It's not a technical term, but it's interesting to look at that. So again, we're going to go over brain function, parts of the brain. We were talking about it yesterday. So the cerebellum is the very back, that reptilian brain. It's the oldest part. It's basically what keeps us alive and makes us function. The middle section, the limbic system, hippocampus and amygdala. It's kind of where it gets a little bit more advanced. We start getting some emotion in there. And then we move on to the neocortex, the frontal parietal, occipital, and temporal lobes, and that's really where it gets complex. That is the part that sets us apart, makes us human. There's a lot more kind of consciousness there. The kind of complex thought, reasoning, judgments are all made up there. So that's the parts of the brain. Excuse me. I don't want to dwell on them too long, because we talked about them yesterday in class. But yeah, that is parts of the brain again. We've got a nice little diagram. Excuse me, I'm drinking water. But it's right. We have different parts of the brain. We have the left hemisphere, which is more logic, language, sequential processing. A lot of times, you look at maybe engineering, kind of those type of fields where people might say they're more left-brained, and then you have the right hemisphere, the kind of more creative, artistic. The words are there. So spatial relationships, holistic thought, art, music. and it was interesting. We were watching it yesterday in the video about playing music. It's like when you have activities that use both parts of the brain, you get that crossover, the bridge that develops, that connects the two sides of the brain, gets them to work better. It's effectively like a muscle. When you can get the two sides to work together, you end up getting much better. Much higher function out of your brain overall. So coming up on our next slide, I will need a volunteer. Is there someone who can talk? I'll have to call on you. I'll unmute you, and I'll ask you to read some stuff on the screen. So if you don't want to read, don't raise your hand. But if you do, Brandon. Brandon says he can. All right, Brandon Anderson. Brandon, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can. Yes, thank you. Um, do me a favor. And on the next slide, I want you to tell me the color that each word is written in.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, go.
The green, yellow, red, blue, orange, green, black, yellow, purple, orange, black, pink.
Oh, excellent. Well done. Well done. Excellent. I feel like a lot of times people are not quite as capable as you, but excellent. Do you have do you do a lot of activities that are using both sides of the brain?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's good. I feel like inevitably, even at speed, most people can't get going that fast through those, and it's difficult because right, it is asking you to, a lot of times we look at a word and we're asked to read it. Very seldom, as adults, are we asked to tell colors. Um, yeah, Raphael's jumped in there, says that would have tripped him up. Um, all right, Brandon, thanks for participating. I'm going to mute you again just so we don't have your background, but thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem.
Um, so, Michael, the kind of the explanation with this, we hit a point in life where we can read, which is kind of where the difference is. So the question that we're asked to do is to look at the words and say what color each word is written in. So normally, why it becomes complicated or why it can be complicated is we're generally asked to read words. So we look at the words and we read them. We say what the word says. But in this situation, we're asked only to say what color it is. So we're asking our brain to work outside of its kind of the functionality that that we use most often. So more often than not, we're just asked to read words. But in this situation, being asked to identify colors can be kind of a different. No, Brandon, you were fine. You didn't have any background noise. I wanted you to be able to keep doing your what if you have other stuff going on. Um, you're good. But right, that's kind of the idea is we're being asked to use our abilities in a slightly different way. And what's interesting is right, like as a child, it'd be so much, it's really fast. We're great. And like, I already know all the colors. I can tell you that, but I maybe couldn't read as well. So as a child, it probably would have been more complicated. Um, because right, we're whatever we learn first, whether we learn words first, or reading first, or colors first. I feel like inevitably we learned colors. I had to learn. I could tell you what color things were before I could spell the colors. Um, so right, that's kind of the difference is asking our brain to work outside of its normal function. Does that make a little bit of sense to you, Michael? Or does that answer your question? Can you try? Yeah, absolutely. I don't have like a different set of words, but you are more than welcome to jump in. I have unmuted you. You go right ahead. You start on the bottom right and go up. Oh, are
Can
you
you hear
there?
me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you, uh,
Yeah,
all right, where do I start?
bottom right.
The bottom right. Okay. All right. Brown, pink, white, black, purple, orange, orange, purple, red, yellow, green, black, black, green, blue, orange, pink, blue, yellow, red, white, red, gray, yellow, silver, green.
It's a little bit more
Is that
complicated, isn't
right?
it? So right. So like a lot of them.
I,
Go ahead.
nothing. What were you about to say?
I was just saying, yeah. So a lot of them, when we're asked to tell what color the word is written in instead of what the word says, it becomes a little bit more complicated. Did you have that experience?
In the last part for silver.
Yeah, right. I think the word pink written in blue, I think may have gotten you. You can go back and listen to it in the archive if you want, and it's not a. It doesn't mean anything. There's not a an association that's made about this kind of doing this way. It's just we ask our brain normally to read words, so it's normal for you to say, I may be asked to say what color the words are written in, but we kind of have that. It's like with almost with the backwards bike thing, where our brain is trained to do it one way, and we maybe do it that way, but then every now and then we might slip back into the track of, okay, here's the way that we've always done it. So moving with that. So go back and listen to the archive if you want later on, and see how many you got, how many you were able to get, and how many you weren't. But thank you for participating. I really appreciate it.
No problem.
All right. So there's a similar activity. It's this one. I would say it's. I feel like it's not quite as. I like the color one better. The colors and the words, but you kind of get the idea. It's you're asked to say what part of the box, like the word is written in, as opposed to what the word says. So again, kind of test yourself with those if you want. You can kind of go through them and look at them. I mean, it's interesting because, right, again, our brains are trained to identify words. What the word is oftentimes more important than its location. Um, yeah, Brandon, I'm glad you enjoy them. I'm sure there's more of these online. If you want to look them up, kind of maybe some like neuroplasticity games will probably get you closer or into the realm of these things. I think it's interesting to just kind of see how the brain works. I'm a big fan of optical illusions, so I will spend, kind of a good amount of time. There's actually a website. There's a competition where people make optical illusions, and there's like an annual competition where like what's the best optical illusion that someone has created. So I think those are a lot of fun too. No, Michael. The competition is not to see who can see it faster. It's to actually create like what's the who can create the best optical illusion, like who can make the most convincing optical illusion. Um, if I can come across it, I'll try and bring it into class. I can probably find it online and hopefully be able to bring it in uh, to class for all of us. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. Right, we watched the How the Brain Works yesterday, so I'm not going to replay that video, but we will get moving on. So right, neuroplasticity and how that works. We've got like a diagram of what that looks like, which is interesting and helpful, but helpful for some perhaps. But the ideas behind it are really what's important. When you think about how the brain works and how it functions, and what neuroplasticity actually does. It's effectively events occur. We've either made a decision, or we get an idea in our brain about how we're going to be about the situation, and then we act on it. So we have this is kind of the best diagram for that. So we have the anatomical, which is a physical change. Something happens. In the case of they use the case of the amputee, which is a great example. So you lose an appendage, then your brain says, okay, we've got to change the way that we think about this. Maybe we're like, oh, I don't have this, so my balance is going to be a little bit off. Maybe I'm not able to walk as well, whatever it is. And then we actually physically just make that the metabolic process. Our brain rewires itself, says, okay, well, we've been doing it this way for a really long time, but we can't for one reason or another, so we're going to move on and start doing it a slightly different way. So that is, neuroplasticity in a nutshell. So right, parts of the brain and neuroplasticity. Does anyone have questions about these things, about any of the neuroplasticity stuff? Nope. Okay. If you do, feel free to jump in. I'm happy to answer them. I do kind of want to just talk to everybody a little bit about, I've been grading assignments, looking over them. My one thing that I would say to the class, make sure that you are hitting all points of the RISE model in the feedback that you're giving. I feel like the majority of the points that I take off are going to be feedback related. Either you don't leave feedback, and this isn't directed at anyone specifically. I would imagine that most people who are here in the live session probably gave great feedback. But if you see my feedback, a lot of times people will forget to inquire. That's one of the biggest ones. They give, great, oh, I can relate to you. Here's how we can, elevate this and keep talking. But a lot of times people forget to inquire. So make sure that you're doing that. Above and beyond that, so far discussion boards have been really good. So keep up the great work with those. As far as week 2 work goes, does anyone have questions about the team activities or the fit demonstration for week 2? Anyone at all? You can raise your hand if you want anything. There's like a little hand raise button. If you don't want to type your questions, you're more than welcome to jump in. I just kept a picture of the RISE model on my desktop and used it when I was replying. Elevating the conversation was the one they had most trouble with. Yeah, all right, Brandon, that's understandable. I think a lot of times you could just keep the conversation going, or say, hey, here's a great way to add to whatever you're doing. So I think that overall, it's a great plan, though, what you did to keep the RISE model open. A lot of times, Raphael, yeah, again, those are great ways to be successful in the class. I think keeping that open. Sometimes I even have people literally spell it out. They spell RISE and they address each one at a time. That's also a great plan. I always encourage people to find what works for them. But yeah, if you're hitting all the points and you're able to get all the points for the assignments, then hats off. That's what we're looking for. That's what we want you to do. So yeah, definitely keep those going. So right, for week 2 team activity, we want to get together. Do we have to put a picture for our fit activity? Yeah, you have to upload a picture. So whatever your activity is, you want to take a picture related to that. I guess I don't know if that's super. I guess it depends on what your fit activity is and whether or not you're able to take a picture. But yeah, we generally would like you to take a picture of whatever the activity is. And it can be anything. Fit again is really, it's broad and expansive. I think that sometimes we think I have to go to the gym or I have to exercise, but fitness can be, it can be mental fitness. It can be, how are we eating? How are we, fueling our bodies? Can fit activity be the same as our play activities? If you think that your fit and play activity qualify for both, then yes. However, I would want you to take a different photograph. So submit a different photograph than your first one. And I'd also want you to write a description justifying why it was a fit activity as well as a play activity. Jasenia in the new discussion about fit demonstration, we have to write examples of play activity, or can we use the past ones? Please, please, please do not copy and paste from week to week. That is what I'll say about it. If you copy and paste, it falls under what's called self-plagiarism. So you can't just copy, an old activity into a new one. You can use the same activities. I understand that people do the same thing. I would encourage you to reword it, change the days of the week that you're doing it. Even use different words to describe what you're doing. It's okay. I realize that, like I've said before, I do plant stuff a lot of days for fun, but some days I'm working on, one type of plant, some days I'm working on a different type of plant. Some days I'm just doing plant maintenance. Sometimes I'm doing grafting. Sometimes I'm propagating. Sometimes I'm planting seeds. So, being as specific as you can about those will likely ensure that you don't fall into a self-plagiarism situation. Does that answer your question? Yeah, you can do the same things, but I want you to be more descriptive and let me know, that it's maybe slightly different. Even if you're playing the same game, I'm playing this game, I'm working on this level of it, I was working on a different level last week, I'm on a new level this week. Yes, because I sometimes do the same, like spending time with your dog. Yeah, absolutely. That's totally understandable. If you want to tell me what you did with your dog, even if you say you went to the dog park, the same dog park, you can tell me, oh, I went to the dog park. Me and my dog played catch. We met some other dogs. Whatever you want. That works. But yeah, just being as specific as you can shows me that, for one, that you're doing something, and for two, I don't have that question in my mind about the self plagiarism, and I can't imagine. Yep, awesome, wonderful. So right, again, for the fit activity, make sure that you put your paragraph description in. And for team activities, right, getting together with your team, playing something. You can play sports, play a game together. You could do a yoga, guided meditation, brain games. You can all get together and do a lot of stuff. There's a lot of things. But if you have questions, feel free to jump in. The idea is that we aren't going to be playing electronic games. Kind of just unplug for a little bit. Yeah. I'd rather you didn't use video games. If your group's paintballing, that sounds like fun. I definitely I would love to see some of that. You can even, if you want to even post a video of you guys playing paintball, that'd be pretty cool. For the team activity, we don't have to take a picture on campus. You don't have to be on campus. You do have to take a picture. So, does that answer your question? It doesn't have to be on campus, but I do want to see a picture of whatever your team activity is. Cool. And same submission types as the previous team activity. Submit one submission with everyone's name on it should be good. And I think that about covers it. I don't think I have anything else I need to tell everybody. If I do, I'll try and remember it for class. Does anyone have any questions? If you do, stick around, ask them, hang out. Oh, Michael, I saw your hand is raised. Yes, sir. Michael, did you raise your hand?
I was typing. I
Oh,
forgot
okay.
to shut the thing off.
Oh, okay, no worries. All right, well, everybody, you're free to go. Have a great day. When will the stuff from last week be graded? I am currently grading discussion boards, so by the end of the day tomorrow is when I will have everything graded. The team stuff, I awarded credit for, but it's for attendance credit. So if you submitted it and your name was on it, you get credit for it. It will not be a problem later on that one person submits team activity. No, it's credit is awarded based on everyone's name being on the paper. Brandon, was there something else besides the team activity or besides the discussion board that you're wondering about the grade for. I think that's as far as graded activities go. The discussion board is the only thing. I mean, the play activities, I will also, again, it's a credit or not credit thing. I look over them. I make sure that you did them. If you did them, you will get attendance credit. And if you did not do them or did not do them sufficiently, I will message you and let you know. Oh, okay. Yeah. I will. I basically send out messages. But yeah, you basically it's a credit or no credit thing. It's effectively pass fail. If you did them, I can send you an email like a little post that says, "Hey, great job with this." So I will acknowledge you with them. But if you submitted it, you will likely get credit for it. But like I said, it's pass fail. Any other questions? If you don't have questions, you're free to go. You're more than welcome to close things down. Oh, Bryn, you're asking about the play chart, the actual from the discussion. Those I am currently grading. Yes, I am currently grading them. Yeah. I'm in the middle of it. I think I've got about 10 left to grade. So depending on where you fall alphabetically, you might have it done, and you might not. All right. See everybody tomorrow. Thanks for being here.